Hello guys, this is Rigid Game Dev, and welcome to the next episode, and let's make a platformer in love2d. So, let's launch the game and see where we're at. So, whoa, that was lag. Let me restart that there. So, we'll be fixing that. We'll make it so it pauses for a little bit before it launches the game, but just so it initializes and all that crap. But for now, this is what we got. We got physics, left and right. The issue that we're going to be fixing today, plus we're going to be doing some other stuff, but if you see right there, when you collide towards the bottom, it snaps you to the side of the block, which we want, but we actually want it, that's good, we don't want it in the block, but we want it to keep you right there. Okay, so yeah, so off camera I fixed it, and it's all awesome and wonderful, and actually, to make things go faster, I actually have it right here. So right here, what I did wrong was we need to do the exact same thing we did for the top of the tile collision. We need to check if we're check and give it this little bit of dead zone. So let's do this. Boom. Oh, that did not go right. All right, let's format this and all that. There we go. Let's do this. There we go. So what? And then we're gonna delete this right here. This was just a mess. I don't even know why I did that. Okay, so how this works is we check if our player is under the block, right? But only under it by so much. So by 8 pixels from the bottom, and then we can apply the velocity and also skip the X check. So oh my word, please work. This doesn't work, I'm gonna freak out. So yeah, we got left and right collision still. See that? It's very smooth, left and right collision, but now when we touch the bottom of the block, we stick. And sticking, we don't actually stick, but remember we have infinite flying on, so yeah. So to fix the infinite flying, what we're going to do is we're going to create a variable right here. Oh, we actually already did, called onGround. So what we want to do in the jump, I actually want to go and put this towards the top, and let's delete this comment right there. Remember, we're going to set the velocity, and then apply the velocity after we do some checks to make sure the velocity is valid. So let's make sure that didn't break anything. Oops. Let's make sure that didn't break anything. We can't jump, so we can't jump when we're on the ground. And yeah, that makes sense. So actually for jump we don't need to do this. Alright, I eat my words. There we go. Okay, so what we want to do is on ground we want to check if our velocity is low enough, and self.onGround is self on ground. So we're checking if we're on the ground, and we're gonna set on ground if we collide right here. So we're gonna say self.onGround is equal to true, and when we jump, if it's on ground, then we're gonna set to false. Is equal to false. There we go. So if we run this, we can jump. We can't double jump now, see? We have to wait until we're actually on the ground. Now if we collide with this block, you see that we bounce back to the bottom. So our physics are pretty good, and I'm pretty sure it's per pixel. Let me, well, there's one thing we need to fix. If you look, we stick to the side of the wall right there, and we'll fix that in time. But I'm going to keep it as a feature. Well, what happened there? Actually, I'm gonna edit the level later. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's frozen on the home screen right now.
Alright, I'm back.
Sorry for that. OBS is a little bit annoying, and my computer's really slow. So anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually put all this into a separate module. And in Tools, I'm gonna make a new folder, call it World Physics. In World Physics, I'm gonna create a file called World Physics.lua. And we're just going to create some global functions. So I'm going to say function, let's see. We want a function to apply gravity. Apply gravity. Then what we want to say is obj. Now the obj will, oh actually let's make it an initialize function too. Function init physics. obj. So this init function will add some variables to the object, like on ground and gravity. In here I'm also going to make a thing called gravity. So you can set, how fast you want it to fall down to the ground. So yeah, so like heavier objects would probably fall, even though it's not really realistic. You know, all objects fall at the same speed unless it's like a feather. But anyway, so we're just gonna set this. We want to. We don't want. Do we want? Yeah, I think we can say self. No, let's not risk it. Don't want to debug that. Some things are worth risking, and some things just stay safe. So anyway, that'll create two variables just like that. So instead of saying right here, yeah. So now we're gonna require the physics module. Require world physics / world physics, and we're gonna initialize world physics. Init world or init physics. We're going to pass the player in, so self, and we're going to give it a gravity of 500. So let's try this. Oh, actually, over here, let's go over here. Say it's equal to gravity or 500. So if we forget to set gravity right here, it'll just auto put it as 500. So let's run this. Let's make sure we didn't break anything. Everything's good. We got gravity. We got jumping. Perfect. Make sure this is on the recording. I'd be really ticked if it wasn't. All right, good. All right, so back to here. Now we want to apply gravity, which is just this code right here. So apply gravity, just so I know where it's at. There we go. Right here, I'm going to put this here. Instead of self, I'm going to say obj. And I think I explained why we're doing this, wrapping these in functions. Not only does it make it look cleaner, but we can also we also are able to reuse this code for other objects like zombies or whatever. Okay, so next we want to update. So let's say update physics obj. We also want tiles, I believe. So what are we going to need? We're going to need tiles, yep. What else? Let's see. I think that's it. So let's say tiles. There we go. So hopefully this doesn't break very much or anything at all. I'm going to say Control X, go over here, update physics, boom. Quite a big function, huh? I want to format this. There we go. So over here, everything that has a self, we're going to change that to an obj. Obj. Tiles should stay the same. Let's see. We named it tiles. Tiles. Yeah, that should be good. All right. So let's test this out. Let's pass in update physics. That's we're going to say self, and we're going to say tiles for tiles. Let's run. Oop, I did not mean to do that. I'm just going to, because I keep doing that, I'm just going to close that right there. And open. Temp the delta time. Oh, right. So let's pass in delta time too as the last parameter. Could calculate it in there, but I don't really. Nah, we can just pass it in. Well, physics 7. Oh, right. Okay, so we also want delta time right there. We don't need delta time for the init. So right here, let's pass in delta time. Remember, delta time's for timing. So if we have slowdown, our game doesn't run at a really slow speed. So right there, we need to create a couple local functions. Floor is equal to math.floor. Whenever you call a global function like math.floor or math.sign or whatever, every single frame, make sure you localize it. That'll actually save on computation. It actually has a let's include rectangle. The reason why I do that is because it saves on time, because it has to indexing local objects is a lot faster than indexing global objects in Lua. Let's see, rectangle. Okay, and we're probably why is vector 2 and I don't even know. So let's include vector 2 just in case. So I'm sure we'll need it for other physics that we'll be doing. Man, I can't type. Objects, actually plural. Actually, this is tools. / vector 2. So let's run this. And we have physics. Everything's back to exactly the same. Right. I'm going to create one more function for jumping. That way we can have other objects jumping. I'm actually going to put it up here because I don't want to scroll to the bottom whenever I want to edit this. Function jump. Let's do physics underscore jump. Object delta time. I'm not sure what we're going to need, so let's do that. Paste that in. Tab it. Yeah, okay, cool. We actually don't need delta time, so I'm just going to remove that. So right here I'm going to say physics, if I can spell it, jump. That way whenever we call this function, the player will jump, or whatever object will jump if it is on ground. Let's make sure we change self. J, K. Okay, so in the main, I'm gonna actually, let's see. We go to level. Oh, we're doing everything from the main. We don't actually have a scene manager, do we? Well, we'll add that later. So right here, yeah, we got jumping. Everything's perfect. So because we did that, let's actually add a new entity. So let's go over here. I'm just gonna name it zombie. We'll give it very simple AI, just zombie AI, so it'll just track the player to wherever position he's at. We're not going to be using A star or anything crazy. We're just going to be using just some simple stuff. Okay, so that's how we're doing it. In Corona SDK, I actually have a different. I actually do stuff a lot differently now than this old style, but this old style works just fine and is actually simpler to understand. There we go. This is more module based, the other one's more object oriented. Local zombie is equal to require objects / entity colon new. Let's see, what do we need to add? We need an X, Y, width, height, image, and quad. Let's see, we don't actually add the image and quad yet, so I'm going to say nil. We'll work on images soon in animation. The ID is going to be zombie, or actually make the ID enemy. That makes checking for collision and damage a lot easier. Return zombie, width and height. What did I put the player as? Let's see, 1616. All right. So let's say 16. So we should have a perfectly good zombie. I don't think we need a. Do we need a? Oh, we do need a draw function. Let's add that. Wasn't sure. Yeah, I have to override every function that I want. So let's rename this zombie. We shouldn't have to rename everything else. Perfect. All right. So let's check the entity. Make sure we have everything that we need for this. All right, we're all good. Let's go over to player. Let's grab all this, and put in the zombie. Whoop. There we go. I'm actually going to make this a little tighter. There we go. So if we just create a zombie now, let's just create a zombie. I guess I have to do it in the main, huh? Ooh, it's so bad. Access Control-Shift-D. Zombie. New. Let's just put it 256. There we go. So if we run this, actually I want to change the color right here. Love.graphics. Even we should be changing this to a local function, and we will when we start optimizing and stuff. 255.00. Let's copy this. Let's put it down here. Reset the color back to 255 or white. There. Run it. I don't see the zombie. Oh, we need a load function, don't we? Go to player. Yeah, let's add to the game loop, add to the renderer. Totally forgot. I'm so used to programming Corona SDK and then initialize physics. Let's change this to zombie. Corona SDK, by the way, is a magnificent library. There he is. For creating mobile games, if you're wondering. It's written in Lua. It's quite a bit different than love2d. So if you're a huge fan of love2d, then I would suggest, well, I would actually do the library too, because it's a great library for making apps. And I will be doing some tutorials and videos on that soon, I believe. What am I doing? Let's add another 32. Okay, so we got a zombie. We got a zombie. It's drawn. Let's make an update. Zombie update, or tick actually. There we go. Let's grab the player. Let's see, what do we got here? We've got apply gravity to the zombie. See how clean this is now that we cleaned it up. Let's update physics, and then also that's it. Yeah, and then we can make sure we do jump too. So if we press play, now we see that this guy will not fall because of reasons that are unknown. Oh, I know the reason. Make sure you capitalize this. Whoops. You capitalize the module that you're creating, and you lowercase the object that is in here. So that should still break. Oh my word. New, return new, zombie is equal to that, new, local zombie. Make sure this is getting called, which it is. Alright, I'm gonna be back. I'll debug this and figure it out. Okay, I'm back. Man, I'm an idiot. Alright. We need to say self.position.x or y is equal to self.position.y plus self.velocity.y times delta time. And we want to do the same to x. Self.position.x plus self.vel.x times delta time. Now this should work. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot to do that. There we go. So we got a zombie. He's cool. He's just chilling here. He doesn't really do anything. We want him to follow the player and track the player. So to do that, let me check the time. Well, we're fine. Let me go into Object Manager and create a function. Hello. Oh, I'm having some issues. There we go. Okay, so what we want to make, what function we want to make is a function that will get the closest object with an ID. OBM get closest closest, I don't even care, with ID. A little verbose, but whatever. So we're going to say ID. Oh, and also we want to pass in the object so that we can get the distance. So local O is equal to 0. Return O. Let's loop through all the objects. For I is equal to 1, common number, self.objects, do. You might want to do this backwards. No, we're not popping any objects out. So anyway, so what we want to say is if ID is equal to ID, or actually let's create a local reference to the object. So local obj is equal to self.objects I. If obj dot actually underscore obj is equal to the ID is equal to ID, then O is equal to obj. We also want to say if O is equal to 0, then how am I going to do this? So let's just return obj. Because there's only one player, so we don't need to worry about that. No. Is that right? Yeah, okay. So it's just going to get obj by ID. Alright, sorry for all that. Let's do this. In the zombie, we're going to say local player is equal to OBM get object. If is that global? It is. Okay, so we want to say lowercase OBM is equal to, we're going to say player. We want to get the ID of player. And right here, we're going to say self. So let's just say player.y or player.pose.y, just to make sure we're grabbing the right object. So go to player.position.y minus 30 times delta time. So let's run this. We should see the player, yeah, right there. So you see this object is affecting this object. Great. So we're going to say if self dot position dot x is less than player dot position dot x, then, and remember we want to apply velocity before we update the physics, so let's, or set the velocity I should say. That was kind of confusing in the last episode. So if we're on the left side of the player object, then we want to set self dot velocity dot x equal to, I don't know, 200. Else, if we're on the right side, self to negative 200. Woo! 200 is way too much. Let's do something like 50. So yeah, I also want to say if on ground, so he's not moving in air. And self dot on ground. Let's not capitalize that. Run this. Why is that not working? Oh, actually, I want to do this. Let's tab this out. I think I'm gonna call it after call the episode after we do this real quick. Just because I don't want them to be too long and boring. And it. There we go. Let's run. So while he's in the air, it's not going to move, but now that he is on the ground, he'll move towards us, as you can see. What we're going to do next time is we're going to check if we collide with this tile right here. If we do collide with the tile and the player's over here, then it'll jump. If there's space right here, so he'll jump up like that. We'll make a get solid at position or get tile at position function in the tile manager. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next episode. Yeah, we're making some real good progress, I think. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.